Good morning and welcome to Global Dialogues. I'm your host, Baldomero Lago, and today we welcome Dr. Iñigo Arbiol Oñate from the University of Deusto in Bilbao, Spain. During the session, feel free to ask questions in the Facebook comments window. If time permits, I will address the select few. As a way of introduction, Dr. Arbiol he oversees the Masters of International Relations and Global Operations at the University of Deusto in Bilbao, Spain. He has a degree in Modern and Contemporary History and a Master's in International Humanitarian Action in OHA that he completed in Germany. He began his postgraduate work in Boston College in Massachusetts, and he completed his PhD at the University of Deusto with a thesis on United States foreign policy in the post-Cold War period. His teaching activity focuses on the degree in international relations and double degree in international relations and law. For years, he worked at the United Nations and at Research Centers for Peace. In terms of his research and an outreach work, in recent years, he has been working on transatlantic security and defense issues and deepening his specialization in United States policy. It is a great honor for us to welcome Dr. Arbiol to our Global Dialogues this morning. Good morning, Iñigo. How are you?
Good morning, Baldomero. Good afternoon here. I'm fine, thanks.
That is correct. I can see through your window that is coming to an evening. It's 7 p.m. in Bilbao, Spain, and it is a very snowy 11 o'clock in the morning Utah day and Utah time. So we thank you for the time that you have taken this morning to be with us and join us in these dialogues that we do on a weekly basis. Iñigo, for some of the individuals that are actually following the proceedings today, they probably have never been in Bilbao or in your region. Tell us a little bit about the Basque region and the University of Utah and the global commitment that your university has towards the students, towards your own local community, the Basque, national level, Spain, as well as the European Union.
Sure. Well, my university is located in Bilbao, which is the largest city of the Basque autonomous community, the Basque country, which is located, for people to understand, in the northeast part of Spain, bordering with France, right, with the Pyrenees and bordering with France and the sea. Right, we traditionally our region has for centuries been very open to the rest of the world because of reasons connected with the economic basic foundations of our region. Right, centuries Basque people have been traveling as fishermen to the coast of the United States, eastern coast, Canada. Also, people from the Basque region have been in the early years of the colonies, right, exploring parts of what nowadays is the United States, and particularly in Utah, people have been shepherds, Basque shepherds, have migrated there a long time ago, and they have some Basque families, right, they still have their ancestors in Utah and Idaho and Nevada, right? So some people might know it because of the Guggenheim Museum, which is located here in Bilbao, and which kind of transformed the city into a post-industrial city, which offers services, and which is well known, as you know, by good food, gastronomy, wine, this type of things, right? So, our university here, the University of Deusto, was founded in 1886. So it's the oldest private university in Spain, and it's part of the Company of Jesus. It's part of it's a Jesuit university, and it, as such, is part of the global network of Jesuit universities, which are, as a mission, committed to bring humanistic leadership into social transformation, right? That is our motif, right? And as such, Deusto is very much engaged internationally in building traditionally exchange programs. But nowadays, we've moved a step forward And apart from exchanging students and staff and programs, right, and projects, right, we are very much aligned with global agendas, promoting sustainability, promoting, well, what we're going to be talking about afterwards, probably about the SDGs. And very much, the University of Deusto has put lots of resources and commitment to become an international university, not only because of the exchange of people going in and out, and students traveling, receiving students for more than 100 countries around the world, right? And we have exchange agreements with more than 600 universities around the world, right? So that we are very active in that, but we also want to be part of the global transformations, right? And with that internationalization process, serving the mission that is behind for the last 250 years, right? Which is the leadership for social transformation.
That is wonderful to see the connection between the international agenda for your university and what you actually do in your office. Tell us a lot about this wonderful master's degree that you have established on diplomacy and international relations.
Yeah, well, inside the Department of International Relations, now I've been for a while the director of Masters in International Relations and Business Diplomacy. What we do here is we've created a new program, which is in between the two traditional ways of teaching. Right? Traditionally, we have been teaching management through MBAs, international business masters, right? And on the other hand, universities have been teaching international relations, politics, right? So what we have created, it's a hybrid program, which is trying to train skills and competencies on future professionals that are needed when you work in that intersection, which is the public and the private spheres, right? So it's in that that we want to specialize by bringing aspects of competitive intelligence, sustainability, long-term management, and international politics for private organizations, right? Is there where we want to create these new programs and the knowledge hub to share with others.
You know, I keep hearing, Iñigo, I keep hearing that you folks are working very closely with the topic of sustainability. As you all know, and as we all know, back in the 2015, the United Nations jointly agreed to develop what is known as the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. And you folks have taken this chart very seriously. Not only you as an academic institution, but also the government that you work with, the local government, the whole region of the Basque community, as well as the federal government. Tell us about why that involvement, and also tell us maybe some of the things that you as leader in the university, as well as students in the university, what are they doing in regards to sustainability? Are you folks integrating sustainability in the curriculum? And how are you working with your local government to promote SDGs?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing is we've assumed that if the future is to be, it's going to be sustainable, right? If there is something clear, it's that sustainability is not a choice, but it's a must. It's a cross-cutting element of any strategy, right? And actually, we're here in the Basque Country. We've got lots of similarities with Utah in terms of the type of society, the type of companies, industry, also the competencies of state level governments, right? So from the university, we are taking part in a global plan, right, which includes private and public institutions in terms of building a comprehensive, sustainable plan for the region, right? As you said, since 2015, that sustainability is very much defined by the SDGs, by the 2030 agenda, right? So what we've done at home in the university It's transform the SDGs into a priority, in a strategic priority, right? Everything that is designed strategically in the university has to be aligned with the sustainability strategy, right? And sustainability not only means environment, but it means all these 17 goals that the 2030 agenda states, right? Including gender equality, fight against poverty, creating alliances, promoting economic growth, right? All that list, everything in that list, right? So, for example, there are lots of things that universities can do, right? In our case, we created a vice rector for 2030 agenda, which is like the 2030 agenda is the bottom-up construction. So it's the community, the people, the territory, building public policies. But in this case, having somebody on the top, right, on the leadership that really sees the strategic planning with this 2030 vision, it's extremely important. That's something we need, and on that we've been recognized internationally as one of the top 20 universities in the world in fulfilling better the SDG 8 and SDG 16, which we're very proud of. Right? 20 universities in the world. It's a very good ranking. And so, but it makes no sense if you do this alone. It makes no sense if the university is teaching SDGs or sustainability, but nobody really in the outer world really plays in practical terms with the same rules, right? So this is being done together with Basque government, which is state level government. It's also a priority as a federal level. Spanish government has been engaged with the SDGs very intensively, but it is also true that the SDGs is an opportunity for local and regional governments because the SDGs goals are directly connected with the type of competences that regional and local governments have to oversee. The responsibility of municipalities, provinces, regions, right? And their competencies with healthcare, with fighting against poverty, providing social cohesion, opportunities for everyone, right? Equal opportunities, gender equality, and many other things. It's in the hands of this type of governments, right? Local, provincial government, right? So I could say that proudly that Basque government has done a very good job in aligning every single part of their public policies strategy with the SDGs. So they've created a document which is public if people are interested, which is connected every public action with an SDG in a way that everything that is done and every public euro that is spent, or dollars if you want, that is spent aligned with the sustainability strategy, right? And that's also a way of being accountable. It's a way of explaining to people, the community, and the communities and the entire territory, how their money is spent, not only looking at short-term priorities, but long-term sustainability. And that is a must, right? And on that, they have created these two strategies. One is to, as I said, align public policies with SDGs, one step by step. And the second one is they have also created a interinstitutional team, which gathers responsible people from every government, meaning municipalities, provinces, and regional government, to make sure that the action is coherent, that this multi-level system of governance works aligned with the same SDGs, right? Which is also very important, that we all work with the same objectives and trying to gather efforts, right?
Iñigo, to some of your viewers, probably what you're talking about is completely foreign to them. And I can tell you that probably there's more than one individual following these proceedings right now that has never even heard here the term of SDG. Now you're telling me that government operations are based on and funding is reflected on the implementation of the SDG or the coordination of the SDG. In other words, you need some funding for whatever purpose may be. You need to justify through a proposal how you're going to utilize that funding, as long as you are paralleling or working together to promote the SDG. I would imagine the same thing is happening with academic programs or within your own institution. You know, the question that comes to my mind is, why is your university, your government so committed to sustainability, whereas other local governments or other regions, they aren't even aware of it? And here, you know, right now we're going through the legislature. I wish you could talk to the legislature to see what other models are working around the country, around the globe, right? When it comes to, okay, the things that we do are in respect to sustainability. So why do you think the government is so peculiar and so responsible to generate interest within the community to promote sustainability? And at all levels, not only on climate, because individuals think sustainability means climate. No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no, no.
What we're talking about, zero hunger, life on water, life on the earth, right? We're talking about peace and justice. We're talking about collaborations. We were talking about gender equality. There's 17 different. On the Wednesday, we'll be discussing next Wednesday on infrastructure, technology, right? Energy. We're talking about all these things. Why do you think your government is
Well,
so vested on this?
yeah, the first thing I would say, this is not just local. In Europe, there's massively an ongoing change in the mindset. I would say that local governments, regional governments, federal ones, right, state level, meaning national level, but also international level, the European Union is very much aligned with these ideas of SDGs implementation. So I would say why? Well, this has to do with the fact that SDGs are not a crazy thing coming from a foreign institution that no one really knows what they do, or this is not a list of issues that a bunch of states sign in a treaty in, you know, that's far away, that's maybe in New York or wherever, in Paris, and this is not really connected with local governance, right? With governing people, the community, right? Close to them, right? But it's precisely the opposite. The SDGs are not a list of, wistful thinking made by diplomats who represent foreign nations. The SDGs are created bottom up. The SDGs are a list of goals that we share as a global community, that people around the world, in Salt Lake City, in Guatemala, or in Johannesburg, or in Beijing, or in a small town, or in a large city, that we all share, right? In terms of long-term sustainability, or I would say long-term survival. If any government or any single company thinks that never mind how you do things, you just concerned about the money you obtain in the profits, then you have an issue, you have a problem. And here people are very much aware of the need of governing in tackling some of the key elements. For example, age population. That is a reality here, right? So we're not talking about saving the planet, or which is, environmental challenges are immense, right? But we're talking also about not leaving anyone behind, making sure that our elderly people have a decent life, and that after working for decades, they are taken care of, creating opportunities for our kids. We're talking about building opportunities for local rural areas as much as for the urban ones, right? And this is very much grassroots level. Why? Probably because it's easy for the people. If they read the SDGs, it's easy to identify who is going to say no to having better air. Who's going to say no to fighting against climate change that's causing wildfires or is causing long summers that affect crops or is causing lots of many other issues. And I would say that this also, particularly in the Basque Country, it's linked to there is a set of values. Right? Here, people really trust the community. We have a long tradition of trusting the others, building things together. For example, cooperative systems. Lots of our companies are cooperatives, meaning the workers are the owners, and it works. Also, obviously, there is a religious background in terms of Christian social thought about the common good, about paying back the community when you have the opportunity to succeed. All this is connected to SDGs. SDGs is not a Martian language that comes from another planet. It's the basic list of the things, the little things that everyone can do to make sure that next generation and the next one and the one after that one continue having a decent place to live, a decent relationship with nature, and also a fair distribution of everything among humans, right? So I think it's very much universal. And why the government is implementing this? Because the government is not crazy. They let's be honest, the governments want to be elected, and the second most important thing is to get elected. And if you SDGs is like saying, look, I'm going to be working for you. I'm going to be working for the individuals, for the communities, for the territory, right? And this includes social, economic, political, environmental aspects, right? And it's when you do that, people easily understand that that's a priority. And those governments or institutions, public or private, that don't do it, that don't extend sustainability in a comprehensive way, they would pay the price because more and more people are connected to this and concerned and aware that this is the only possible strategy for humans to live better and make sure that what we leave to the others or it's at least as good as the things that we received.
Iñigo, you have given an amazing discourse in regards to SDGs, and I'm glad that this proceeding has been recorded so we can utilize, we can quote you, we can share the examples that not only your academic institution, but also your government are implementing in regards to SDGs. I know this year has not been an easy year for anyone. And I imagine for what I've read, you folks have been very isolated, very on a lockdown stage. And how is your community, your family, your friends, your institution, how everyone there has been able to cope with this pandemic?
Yeah, definitely. This last year has been terrible for everyone, right? As you know, as in the HUDA or the United States, Europe has been going through difficult times, right? I would say that the COVID has also brought terrible things, but also the opportunity or maybe the pressure to think about this, right? Kind of made us aware of what is really relevant, right? And how we can. The COVID has not. I don't think the COVID has changed anything, but probably has accelerated many things. Things that were there, and that the COVID has shown us in a more cruel way, right? So, for example, things connected with providing the necessary healthcare for age population, the having a strong, resilient public health systems, right? That has been very important here. And even though have been very tough times, we all lost relatives, friends, right? And that's never coming back. And that's personally and family level, community level, that's difficult to live with. We lost people we couldn't say goodbye. Well, I guess this is universal and has happened everywhere. But I think we should see COVID as an opportunity have a rebirthing, right? And also see, as I said, see how can the measures that are again connected with what we talked about, sustainability, right? For example, right now, the European Union has get together the 27 countries that we form the union and have agreed on a common billionaire package, which is 100% connected with sustainability. If you want to be part of that, you have to be connected with the green economy. You have to be connected with equal opportunities. We have to be connected with the basic core of sustainability agendas. And so I would say that this has been a terrible year. Probably still the months to come are going to be tough. Economically, the region has suffered a lot, particularly because we, as Yuda also, we are very much present globally, and everyone here depends on the global supply chain and the global value chain. For example, for us, for the university, it's been very tough because we couldn't travel, we couldn't receive students, we couldn't send students. We stopped those programs that are international, that are part of our networking with all the universities, also projects with different institutions, United Nations, with the European Union, with the World Bank, right? All that has stopped, but I think it's it has to be seen from the positive side and see that this is an opportunity to maybe stop for a moment, rethink everything, and start taking decisions that maybe the pre-COVID times didn't allow us because we were in a hurry and thinking on the immediate action, right? I think the COVID has stopped us in a cruel way, but has given an opportunity to think mid-long term.
Thank you. In 4 days, actually, we'll be coming to a celebration, the first month of President Biden in the White House. How is your government, your administration, your friends, your university viewing this transition, moving from President Trump to now to the President Biden organization? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's definitely a very interesting question, right? I would say that like everywhere in the Basque Country, there are people who are more conservative, some are liberal. Like people have their beliefs in that, which is ours, like yours, is a very diverse society, and we've got people living here coming from different parts of the world and with different faiths and different ideologies, right? But I would say that a vast majority of the Basque people, the vast majority of people in Spain, in Europe, are going, I've seen lots of, I would say with joy and with hope, this change in the U.S. federal administration. I think we have gone back to trusting the U.S. as a reference again in many aspects, right? If for my generation and for my parents' generation, the United States has also been sometimes criticized because being the leader, a global leader includes criticisms, right? But they have always seen, and we, our generation too, have always seen the United States as a reference for many of things, So it's a reference for them for democracy, as a reference for opportunities, equal opportunities for everyone. And I think Biden administration now represents many of these values, which almost the vast majority of the Europeans and Spanish and the Basque people really believe are fundamental, right? And through the Trump administration, I think the trust that we all had in the US to be that reference was pretty much diminished. We saw things we couldn't understand because, as I said, maybe it's an idealistic interpretation of what the United States is, but there was a kind of a mismatch in between what we wanted to hear from the United States government and what we were hearing about from particularly from the press, from the people. And I think this change is creating enormous expectations, which is a two-sided coin, right? You create expectations, you have to meet the expectations, right? And then when you create great expectations, probably some people will say, well, it wasn't enough, and so, but I think the election of Joe Biden has been very much welcome here, as I said, and have put the people back to that idea of the U.S. as a land of opportunities, as a land of where everyone is welcome, where different diverse communities can coexist together, right? Which is an issue that we have here in Europe with migration, with diversity, right? And that we still have pending issues in our recent history, particularly in Spain, right?
I can see that you are a PhD on policy, international policy, especially with an emphasis on United States. I mean, I can hear from your experience. Iñigo, it has been a true pleasure having you today as our guest in our Global Dialogues. Indeed, you have brought a unique conversation and to the table, and I hope that all the individuals that are following this proceeding will benefit from this experience. I want to thank you and everyone that has been following and will continue to view it through our Facebook channel as well as through our YouTube channel. And thanks to everyone for making this a successful event. For everyone to know, next week we have a packed week of events. So if you want to get a piece of paper and a pencil, I'll let you know what some of those events are going to be, although you can access those on our website. But on Monday, the 22nd, we will be celebrating International Mother Language Day. And we have a panel established by Dr. Sayed Sajal, also Dr. Michael Baller, he is with the Deaf Studies, also Mrs. Meg Singer with the Pacific, he's the Pacific, no, sorry, not the Pacific, I'm sorry, the Native American Initiative, and also Leonie Saga with the Pacific Islander Initiative. So they will be discussing mother languages and on a panel on Monday 22nd. A week from today, on Tuesday, we will have a Global Dialogues, and as we are inviting Dr. Carl Bowman. Carl Bowman is from the Utah Board of Education. He's the specialist on dual language immersion programs through all public schools, and he will be joining us on Tuesday the 23rd. And the following day, on Wednesday, we will be having a panel on the Sustainable Development 9, the number goal 9, Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure, and the Dean of the Woodbury School of Business, Dr. Noam Wright, and Professor Dr. Maritza Sotomayor, an economist, as well as the Director of Economic Development for the City of Salt Lake, Mr. Ben Collender, a former White House staff member, will also be joining us on that panel. So as you see next week, COVID or no COVID, we continue to move forward a global agenda. And we are very grateful for this technology that allows us to do this. And again, thank you very much, Iñigo, for joining us this evening in Spain, this morning in Utah. And again, to all of you, if you would like to see a full schedule of all of our events, please access our website at uvu.edu/global. As we sign off today, choose to be a global citizen. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Iñigo, and have a wonderful
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.